Well, good evening, my friends. And once again, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me for Monday, November the 5th, 2018, with a little less than 24 hours away to the midterm elections, where I'm sure many Americans here will be watching as the poll numbers come in to see who takes the Senate and wins the House overall to come out on top to win the midterm elections. With the possibility of so much going on, for those of you especially who have not got out there and vote, tomorrow is the final day, my friends. I can't begin to urge each and every one of you enough, for those of you who have not gotten out there and vote, to please do so. As I've said again, it's the only way to let your voice be heard in the political sense of things. I urge you, to those of you who have loved ones who may have not got out there and voted, encourage them to get out there to the polls and cast their vote. Their vote, my friends, will decide the fate of our country. President Trump has gone on to state many times that a vote for the Democratic Party is a vote to raise taxes on the American people. A vote for the Democratic Party is a vote to destroy this economy and leave our borders wide open, and a list of many other things. And of course, as many of you already know, we've already had many from the far left Democratic Party, the infamous Maxine Waters, Cory Booker, Eric Holder, and of course, the one and only Hillary Clinton, go on to call for protests, encouraging protesters to get in the face of Republican senators everywhere. We've even heard Hillary go on to state, and I quote, "We can't be civil with the party that wants to destroy us." And with so much going on, it leaves many to wonder again, are we on the verge of civil war, my friends, right here on our own soil? As we watch the polls, and as many of you may know, we have a migrant caravan, of 12,000 migrants pushing through the streets of Mexico, headed straight for the United States-Mexico border, where 15,000 U.S. troops await as they assist U.S. Border Patrol. And with the talks of the possibility of civil war right here in our own soil, some have gone on to state that it's no longer a matter of what if, but when. Whether or not will there be civil unrest come tomorrow or over the next coming days, I can't really tell you for sure. But in my honest opinion, are we on the verge of something huge happening right here in our own country? Of course we are, my friends. With all that the far liberal leftist group Antifa has been calling for, with everything that the leftist Democratic Party, of course, has been calling for, it's obvious that we are on the verge of something huge happening very soon. And of course, with the Democratic Party obviously using this migrant caravan to try to sway the votes, and of course trying to use this individual who was just recently arrested and is now in federal custody, Cesar Sayoc, who was reported to be mailing out fake pipe bombs to multiple senators of the Democratic Party, and of course actor Robert De Niro as well, who's strongly voiced his opinion on his hatred for President Trump, along with many others. And again, as I've said, we've heard actor James Cromwell as well call or go on to state that there will be bloodshed in the streets if the the Republican Party goes on to win the midterm elections. But again, it brings me to an important part in the Bible, my friends, if you don't mind me going on to state in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, where his disciples came unto him and asked him, "What shall be the signs of thy coming and the end of this world?" And Jesus had no problem stating unto him. One of the many things that really struck me in this particular verse is this verse in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, where he went on to state that you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And of course, with the rumors of civil unrest breaking out right here in our own country, this is just a perfect example, my friends, of what Jesus meant. This is not just a thing that's, foreign thing, as we all know with the war that was going on in Afghanistan and Iraq and so on. But again, Jesus went on to state to his disciples in the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, where he went on to state, "For nation shall rise up against nation." And it's not, different countries, my friends. It's the people rising up against one another, coming against one another with violence. Whether or not it means political violence, I can't tell you 100% for sure, but we are seeing it on the rise. And it's obvious, my friends, that we are on the verge again, as I've said, of something huge happening very soon. I can't tell you when for sure, but I do feel deep in my heart that we are in trouble as a country. But many people ask, you're probably looking at me and wondering, why do I feel that way? Well, for one, look at many of the things Antifa is pushing for. A far leftist, communist, socialist, ideological, domestic terrorist organization, should I call it. A group of young teenagers who run around with their faces covered. They harass people in the streets because they don't share their same leftist views and beliefs. They run around and they viciously try to assault anyone that doesn't believe in their views and refer to everyone as racist and fascist because they believe in freedom of speech and standing up for their country and standing by their constitution and not supporting this super social attitude, not supporting abortion and not supporting the banning of our Second Amendment, and the list just goes on, my friends. It was just a while back. Many of them are still, should I say, butthurt over the simple fact is that Hillary is not the president. The fake news was predicting that she was going to win in the polls. Even former President Barack Obama stated that Trump was not going to win, that Hillary was going to come out on top, should I say. And sure enough, when Trump won, people took to the streets, began to vent their frustration and their anger in ways we've never seen before, in large numbers. But again, the people spoke through the votes, and Trump became the victor to become the 45th president. And with everything that's going on now, with the huge economic boom in jobs, the tax cuts, and the people of this country, we need to come together as one. We need to stop this division, and we need to better ourselves. If you really think about it, my friends, ask yourselves, when has it ever got to this point that standing up for freedom of speech, and loving your country can make you a neo-Nazi and a racist? Think about it, my friends. This is not who we are as a nation. We need to come together as one and start standing up for what this country is really all about. As many of you may know, tomorrow, again, is the midterms. Many people are going to be watching. Many people are going to be keeping their fingers crossed, and I'm sure, of course, there's going to be a lot of tears should the Democratic Party lose the midterm elections. And as I've said, again, there's really no telling what is going to happen over these next couple of days, but I have a really bad feeling about this, my friends, but I hope that's just me. I could really only pray that I'm wrong, along with many others again. with everything that's going on. Should there be violence in the streets, or as some call it, civil unrest? Excuse me. The question is, will we see martial law? Think about it. You got, 15,000 U.S. troops along the U.S.-Mexico border now. Again, prepared to meet a migrant caravan of 12,000 people fleeing a poverty-stricken country where they can't find jobs. There's drugs, there's violence, there's rape. And there's possibility of violence along the border as well. But all we can do, my friends, is pray. You think about it, my heart kind of goes out to many of those people because we are the greatest country in the history of this planet, in my honest opinion, and I'm sure many others can agree as well, that you got people from another country, hundreds of miles away, should I say, or thousands of miles away, willing to do whatever it takes to come into our country in hopes of a better life. Now, I'm sure that not many of those people are all alike, my friends. It's already been said that, according to other YouTube channels, that people have reported that there are members of the MS-13 among this group. Some have even gone on to state that members of ISIS have been identified among this group. And we have heard, some have even claimed to see throughout video of violence with the Mexican authority there from this migrant caravan. But there's really no telling what's going to happen, my friends. But in my honest opinion, as I've stated in previous videos, that this is nothing more than an invasion. But that's just my honest opinion, as it is many others again. But with that being said, don't shoot the messenger, okay? This is just my opinion on the matter at hand with the talks of civil unrest breaking out in our country. And all we can do is really pray, my friends. But with that being said, for those of you who haven't got out there and voted, please do so. Tomorrow is the final day. And again, I'm sure many people are going to be anxiously watching and awaiting as the polls close and the numbers come in. But again, with that being said, my friends, I'm your host, Chi-Town Zone. If you're looking to keep up on further updates or any breaking news, if we happen to have any, do feel free to subscribe, my friends. And with that being said, everyone have a good night. And God bless you. God bless the United States of America.